Well, the time is just gone 20 minutes past 9 as we continue with the broadcast this morning. And if you have just tuned in, the second half of the show, shortly we will be focusing on the world's largest tourism trade show. We're talking about ITB Berlin. And as we also welcome our listeners, our viewers from One Nation 88.9 FM out of Polokwane, we still continue with our Salam Media listeners, our viewers this morning. So that is the one issue. Also taking a look at pre-Ramadan ladies car program with Senzef this morning. We will be talking with the Senzef CEO, Yasmina Frank, as well. And we've got a fair amount still to cover as we head towards the month of Ramadan. But right now we're going across to be joined by German journalist Martin Lejeune, looking ahead at the world's largest tourism trade show. Martin, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, wonderful that you are able to join us this morning. Now, looking at ITB Berlin, the world's largest tourism trade show, what makes it such a huge, such a mega, such a massive event, Martin?
It is really unique in the world because it has around 10,000 exhibitors from more than 180 countries around the globe, and they are presenting all kinds of aspects of traveling. So they show you destinations of all continents. So the countries they present themselves. This year, Georgia, the capital is Tiflis, they have a special hall. They have a focus on Georgia, and so each year it's changing. And but also there are all kinds of countries, including South Africa, of course, India, China, even the Palestinian territories. They have a stand, so you can visit Palestine, and they tell you what's going on there. You can talk to tour operators, and they also have a convention that's really huge. Let me tell you about one topic that's very important. This is sustainability, how you can travel in a sustained way. For example, they have a topic that's called the global economy and the great transformation outlook and implications for the tourism industry in terms of sustainability.
Yes, Martin, I think what is important also to understand is after the COVID era, and we know the whole travel tourism industry had taken a huge knock. And now that we are out of the COVID era, a lot of focus will be on reviving the tourism and the travel industry.
Yeah. So the Corona pandemic, the COVID-19 disease, that was really a great impact on the global tourism industry. As you know, there were shutdowns around the globe, restrictions, especially regarding traveling. As you know, for countries as New Zealand or China, just to name two of them, they had the zero COVID policy. So their strategy was to wipe out the pandemic and not to let anybody inside the country. So you just could not travel to these destinations. And this had a huge impact globally on tourism. So, hotels did not open, airports closed, everything was really negative through the eyes of the tourism industry. And now it's also these ITB, this largest travel show, did not happen for the last 3 years. It's now the first show after the global pandemic. And now everybody is so enthusiastic and has a perspective to go on with worldwide traveling, and now why they think so much about transformation on a global scale, how to make it more sustainable.
Yes, I think, interesting that you mentioned sustainability, but also what we've seen is post COVID-19 and post the COVID era is we've seen a number of developments, and one of the biggest has been political developments, the Russia-Ukraine war that is taking place. That has obviously impacted largely on things like energy. Is created problems in local economies in many countries around the world, and travel has become a very expensive business. Now, to sustain the travel industry, the cost factor is very important, because there are many people right across the entire world that can't even afford to travel because they are caught up with this the impact that the war has had, the negative impact, and we know that many people are actually battling financially.
I really believe that traveling makes the world a better place. Maybe travelers are kind of little diplomats of their countries, and right now, you as a civilian, you're able to travel as well as Ukraine, as well as Russia, and you can connect to these cultures and countries. And also at this travel show, you have presentations from both countries, Ukraine as well as Russia, and tour operators of these countries, as well as other conflict zones that still have tourism or traveling. Of course, it is less than before the conflict, but it's still possible. And I think that's a way of connect to each other and making experiences. Unfortunately, not everybody, as you mentioned, is able to pay for traveling around the globe. Maybe some people have just the budget to make local travels, maybe to the next place or city. But I think it should be changing, that traveling is more affordable.
Yes, one of the issues here is the diversity, and this is quite interesting, Martin, in terms of diversity. And I know you mentioned Palestine, but there are, apart from the more popular tourist and travel destinations right across the entire world, the diversity that this tourism trade show presents. That is quite interesting, because looking at even countries like, for instance, like South Africa, for instance, because there are huge opportunities for South Africa. South Africa is being a very attractive travel destination, but also at the same time looking at the diversity that we have within South Africa, and looking at, and I've just seen a note where I've been asked to make mention of opportunities for South Africa, and also looking at Islamic travel in terms of the Muslim travel industry that is represented.
This is a very important segment. It's becoming more and more important and attractive to Muslim traveler. This is halal traveling. There's even halal cruising ships that do it, that offer cruising travels in a halal lifestyle, without alcohol, and special areas for women and families, the same as halal hotels. This is also a growing segment. So this is a hotel where you have a dinner area for families and a separate dinner area for men. And also they do not serve alcoholic drinks. So there's no bar for alcohol. And also if there is, for example, a beach at a halal hotel, then they have a separate beach area for women and for families. this is a growing segment, and also this largest trading travel show of the world, presenting these areas for diversity, for halal lifestyle, so you can get information about it, where to find these places, which destinations suit you. And at this convention, which is also the largest tourism convention and conference in the world, with hundreds of talks and presentations, you can get all day long, from the morning till the evening, talks and information about authentic traveling as you like. So there's really something for everybody, and it's going on just for 3 days eventually. So the last day is March the 9th.
Martin, when is this event actually taking place?
It is starting today officially. Yesterday was the opening and the media day. So it's starting today, and it's going until Thursday, the 9th of March. So it's officially just open for 3 days. It's a huge area, but you can also explore it online. If you're now listening to it in South Africa and you can't catch a plane to Berlin, it's called explore.itb.com. There you have online exhibition, and you can follow events through the live stream if they are hybrid presentations, also in times of post-COVID pandemic. So you are able to follow some specials and convention events online through the ITB.
Well, that would be quite interesting, following the events online for many of us who are thousands of kilometers away from Berlin right now. But for now, Martin, thank you very much for that, for unpacking what you have, and for providing us with an insight into this world's largest tourism trade show. All the best to you, sir.
Thank you so much again for having me.
Martin Lejeune, a German journalist, just providing us with an update on this, on ITB Berlin, the world's largest tourism trade show. We're going to go for a break. We come back. We will be joined by Yasmina Frankie, SENZF CEO.